This video is officially a week late thanks to a lot of misadventures traveling across the United States, but I am ready to go. The launch is complete. I think things went pretty well, so let's talk about it. Hey team, welcome back to Building a Book. This is week 11 of a 12-week series all about my process of self-publishing Into the Void, which is now out into the world. It's finished, it's done. Kind of, sort of, maybe. The paperback is on its way, I promise. I've just been having troubles with CreateSpace, which is the printer I use to print all of my paperbacks. Basically, I'm trying to get the file formalized and out into the world, but CreateSpace keeps telling me that the page numbers aren't in the right order, even though I keep looking at them and I'm pretty sure they are, and I'm starting to go cross-eyed just counting all of the pages from 1 to like 250. So that's going super well, but hopefully the paperback will be out and ready for purchase by next week's video, which is going to be our last Building a Book, at least for this particular book. As of Saturday, Into the Void finished its launch and went back to its regular price of $2.99 for the ebook. So let's talk about some numbers and how I did on all of my promo weeks and all of that. In the end, I ended up selling 454 copies, which is pretty cool. There was also 13,000 page reads for anyone who was reading it in Kindle Unlimited, so basically they don't have to buy the book, you just kind of get to pay a subscription and then read as many books as you want that are subscribed to that Kindle Unlimited program, so a bunch of people read that way, which was awesome, because while the book was on sale, that does tend to pay a little bit better for me. Another really cool number is that during those 2 launch weeks, I managed to sell 75 copies of Isolation, which is going to be the next book in that series, which is only 2 less than I managed to do for Into the Void. So by promoting book 1, I managed to get a bunch of low price sales on book 2 as well, which is really, really cool. So when that book comes out, there's already 75 people lined up to read it. I'm going to keep Isolation on sale for 99 cents up until its launch, so if anyone gets it ahead of time, they get that lower price. And then once it is actually launched as well, it'll probably go up to $2.99, but I reserve the right to change my mind. All in all, I'm pretty happy with how things went. I was probably a little overly optimistic and wanted it to do a little bit better and make back a little more of the money that I spent on doing all of this, but it still has an entire lifetime to do that. Basically, all of my upfront costs are done. I'm not planning on promoting this one again anytime soon, so anything I make going forward is just bonus, and eventually it'll start to make money, which is kind of the goal. If anyone's curious what those numbers I gave you earlier actually add up to, I made about $211 US, which is still pretty cool. The real test is going to be seeing how well Amazon's algorithms picked up on the book and who it sells to and what kind of customers they should be throwing that book at, hoping that they pick up a copy. So we'll see how well it does in terms of sales now that it's up to that $2.99 price point. I'm crossing my fingers that it continues to sell because that's what's going to kind of define how I move forward with this series. But really at this point, I'm planning to put out the next 2 books anyway and then kind of reevaluate and see how it's doing. Now, in case any of you are fantasy, specifically urban fantasy fans, I actually have another book coming out today, which I'm really, really excited about as well. That is Magic in My Bones. It is adult urban fantasy set in Galway, Ireland, which is where I used to live once upon a time, and it is currently 99 cents for the next 12 days, I think. So I'm pretty much doing the same thing with this one as I did with the last one. There's a few different tweaks, but I'm curious to see how it all goes, if it's going to follow a same path, or if the genre kind of makes a big difference there. I guess we'll see. That's going to be it for me today because I have to worry about my next release, which is the 3rd book in the 4 of a Kind series. Basically, it is go, go, go all the time, but I am planning on resting eventually. And don't forget to tune in next week for the final Building a Book video where we're talking about how things are going since the launch, if there's anything I would do differently, and all of that fun stuff. In the meantime, happy reading, happy writing, and I'll see you next time.